Is simping a mental illness? Simping is an urban term that has been described as a psychopathology or a thinking error in the context of minimization. Simping is dangerous because what it does, it minimizes the importance of the man at the deification or the positioning of the woman. The thing about simping is that simping does not have any standards. Now listen, I didn't come up with the term called simping, but I did come up with acronyms associated with the word called simping. And I came up with two types of simps. There is the unconscious simp, and then there is the conscious simp. The worst type of simp is the conscious simp because the conscious simp actually should know better. The conscious simp is qualified in two major categories. The conscious simp, what he does is that he sacrifices important masculine principles. That's the conscious simp. But a subset of that is suppressing important masculine principles as well. Because the conscious simp in his internal dialogue knows what he needs to do, but he chooses not to do it because he's been socialized to do to the contrary. The difference between the conscious simp and the unconscious simp is that the unconscious simp is not aware of what he's doing. The unconscious simp will more or less be qualified in supplementing irrational male principles. And I say it male because when men, we are born males, but we become men through trial and error, hills and valleys, victories and failures. And so when you supplement irrational male principles, you become an unconscious simp. And what that does, it reduces your ability to leverage in a relationship because you defer power to her instead of having a relationship where it's balanced, where you get respect and she get respect as well. Sean James wrote a book or created a book called The Man Crisis. And we're going to look at this remastered classic where we look at the nuances of simping. And we're going to talk about simping from a psychological perspective, but also from an anecdotal perspective. So sit back and relax as we bring it to you live from the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State, where the topography is serene, pristine, and verdant green. Whereas men, we don't agree on all things, but we come together as allies of a common cause only to dissipate once the crisis is over. And remember this, if it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. I'm going to break it down and give you the two steps or the two subsets or the frameworks of simping. And if you use this context or contextual framework of simping, please quote me or qualify me or more or less reference me as that's the right thing to do. Be well.